It is 6 p.m. Wednesday, July 5th, 2023. I will call this meeting of the Miami Township, Montgomery County Board of Trustees to order. If everybody could please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll, Mr. Morris.
Here.
Mr. Culp.
Here. Chief Stegelmeyer, reading of casualties.
Good evening, Board. The following is the first responder casualty list for the period of June 21st, 2023 through July the 5th. Firefighter Bobby Smith, the Ware County Fire Rescue in Georgia, end of watch June 22nd, 2023. Firefighter Bryce Crossback, Naval District, Washington Fire Department, end of watch June 27th, 2023. And Trooper Aaron Smith of the Indiana State Police, Indiana, end of watch June 28th, 2023.
Everyone could please join me in recognizing a moment of silence. Thank you. We have no guests or scheduled presentations. I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Mr. Morris.
Aye.
Mr. Culp.
Aye.
New business. Mr. Schweikert, Resolution 58.
Good evening, Board. Annually, we restripe the roads. Last year, Montgomery County, who we typically use, they rejected the two bids, leaving us without certainty to get a striping marking program delivered for 2023. And we went out and talked to 4 other townships located in Montgomery County, and we found that we could do a joint partnership and try and get a program done this year. This resolution is just to enter into a construction agreement. Once we find the pricing, the bid estimates come back. If it's not favorable, we'll just hang on another year, but this is just to get into that program, and the estimated cost is around $40,000 by our estimates, which we do have, and our gas permissive license tax funding. I'd be happy to answer any questions for this resolution.
Resolutions 60 and 61 are also yours.
Yeah, good evening, Board. This was a pretty lengthy resolution for your packet tonight. It's a continuation of the American Rescue Plan funding that was authorized back in March for the 3 trucks. This is the upfit, which consists of hydraulics, chassis, bed, snow plow, electrical equipment, and other materials. Through government pricing, we found that Henderson meets all the requirements through Sourcewell, which is consistent with expenditures for ARP through federal funding. This package should be delivered by the end of the year, and we did look at other places, but again, the requirements for ARP expenditures require them to be involved in cooperative purchasing, and we found no reason to go with anybody else. Total ARP expenditures will be around $400,000, and I'd be happy to answer any questions on this resolution. I'll pass the last resolution over to Clay.
Resolution 61 would simply amend the appropriations of funds for Fund 216 in conjunction with Resolution 060 regarding the upfit charges.
Very good. We will now move to the public comment portion of the meeting, where any resident can come forward and give their thoughts with the board. We will limit your time to 5 minutes. We will take your thoughts into consideration, but we will not engage in any dialogue. Would anybody like to come forward for up to 5 minutes? Please state your name and address for the record.
Good evening, Board. Matthew Turton, 6600 Jamaica Road, Miami Township, 45342. I'm here again to bring the attention of the situation that continues at 7757 Upper Miamisburg Road. Since the last time I addressed the board, there's been 2 events. Realize that they are, again, just not a 2-hour window. This is a setup on a Friday night. This is a party on the Saturday, and then usually a tear down on Sunday. So it's 3 days, 2 days that's interrupting our peace and quiet, our atmosphere in the rural area over on the other side of the river. Luckily, this last weekend, not a lot of weddings get scheduled for a Saturday prior to 4th of July, but I am anticipating an event being held this weekend. Grass was being mowed today, and everything was being cleaned up for an event that looks like it should probably take place on Saturday, which is the normal days that are ruined for us with the interruption and the noise and the lights. We have dispatched, again, the Miami Township Police Department the last 2 times they've come out, or I've sent them videos of the events that are taking place. That's one. And then item 2 is, again, Canadian thistle are in full bloom, which I've brought to the board's attention again last time. The noxious weeds that are just about to poof and blow are blooming right now, and I cringe where the seeds go into our fields. Just attention on that, if possible, please, from someone. Obviously, attention on both items. And if there's any questions or updates that I don't know about, I would be willing to foster or take any questions.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Again, you're all invited Saturday night to come and witness most likely what will occur at the event center via my property that's blasted and lit up on those days. Thank you.
So I know the ORC identifies the thistle as an invasive species. What does the state of Ohio suggest? Who's responsible for responding to that?
Sure, yeah. Generally, under our property maintenance code, invasive weeds are something that we can take a look at. Mr. Turton, I will have our zoning inspector. I spoke with him briefly last week, but he will schedule time to come out so you can show him. Having to enter private property, he'll need you to be there. But we will be sure to get that scheduled as soon as possible, make sure we get a look at it, and point the property owner in the right direction to get that taken care of.
Anyone else wishing to come forward? You lost the coin flip?
Good evening, David Schulhaus, 2329 South Lee Drive, Miami Township. Our concern is the fireworks regulations in this, or lack of in this township. We, in our neighborhood, our lots are roughly 80 feet wide. We have neighbors down there setting off fireworks, which I am really doubting that they are consumer-grade fireworks. And I get it, he goes by the state law, except one night he did go past 11 o'clock. But the windows, the pressure on our windows, we're 4 houses away. The dogs, the people, everybody we talk to, I would like to see the township reconsider their stand on accepting the state of Ohio's regulations on it. Because it doesn't work in our neighborhood with as close as our homes are, if you know what I'm saying.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else wishing to come forward? All right, seeing no others, we will close the public comment portion of the meeting. Move to consideration of resolution in motion. I will make a motion to approve Resolution 58-2023, a resolution to authorize the Township Administrator to enter into a joint construction agreement with Washington Township for pavement marking of Miami Township streets. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Mr. Morris?
Aye.
Mr. Culp?
Aye.
I will make a motion to approve Resolution 60-2023, a resolution to authorize the Township Administrator to execute the necessary documents to purchase upfit equipment for the American Rescue Plan funding for the Road Department. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Mr. Morris?
Aye.
Mr. Culp?
Aye.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 61-2023, a resolution to approve amendments to the appropriation of funds for 2023. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Mr. Morris?
Aye.
Mr. Culp?
Aye.
We are now entering into a public hearing to discuss Resolution 59-2023. I will make a motion to open the public hearing for zoning case 457-22. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Mr. Morris?
Aye.
Mr. Culp?
Aye.
Zoning case 457-22 is now open. The following will be in the order in which this hearing will proceed. Staff will be asked to be given a report. The applicant will be given an opportunity for a presentation. All those in favor will be able to speak. All those opposed will be able to speak. A time limit of 5 minutes will be placed on each of the speakers. When you come forward, please give your name and address for the record. The board will close the public hearing prior to taking any final action. We'll now hear the report of staff. Mr. Carlson, have the legal requirements of this hearing been met?
They have.
Do you have a recommendation from the Miami Township Zoning Commission that you can review in your report at this time?
I do. Good evening, Board. The only zoning case before you tonight is a final development plan for zoning case 457-22, a final development plan review for a new Chipotle building within the Meyer Plan Development. Just as a reminder, the Meyer Plan Development is located in the northeastern part of the township. Was approved for its special purpose plan unit development designation late last year. A number of outlots were designated within the plan development, preliminary plan, and standards. So one of the final development plans within the overall plan was for a Chipotle restaurant. On June 5th, 2023, the Miami Township Zoning Commission recommended approval with some stipulations. We'll go over those in this presentation. Again, here's the larger plan development, and the property being developed for Chipotle is in the northwestern portion toward the intersection of Alex Bell and State Route 741. Specifically, it is a 2,300 square foot Chipotle restaurant within Outlot A. Restaurant use is permitted with some drive-through placement. Here are a number of site features that are required under Article 7 of the Miami Township Zoning Resolution. Certain things just to quickly call out. Dumpster enclosures are met with adequate screening materials per Article 7. Pickup windows placed not between the building and the primary roadway, but off to the side with the primary lane, again, being away from the roadway. The majority of the parking is all set behind the building with a patio area up front where bike racks and the more public communal facing spaces are located. Mechanical boxes to the rear of the building with adequate screening per the landscape plan we'll get into in a minute. So there's two sort of phases of landscaping plan required under the Chipotle site. Under the general Meyer Plan development, they are required to install landscapings in the communal storm basin area as well as the actual site trees. They have certainly met their individual site tree requirements. They have also planted trees in what will be new parking islands to create drive aisles between this site and the remainder of the Meyer lot, further breaking up that existing asphalt. And again, looking at the existing storm basin, here's a quick picture. North is to the left of the image, but Chipotle will be behind the left basin, and the already approved Jiffy Lube will be behind the right basin. Both of these developments will introduce that stormwater landscaping into these areas to help break up what is currently just open grassy areas with pretty dated infrastructure that is not very attractive. So one of the key objectives of the Meyer Plan development is being accomplished through these two developments, introducing more natural wetland style landscaping into these fields to one, help with stormwater retention, but also make this a little bit more attractive. In terms of site connectivity, another of the major goals of the Meyer Plan development was to better connect this site to the major roadways, both Alex Bell and State Route 741. In the sort of shaded yellow area on the bottom of the image to the right. That is a sidewalk connection that is being made by the Jiffy Lube development. That was a big push through Jiffy Lube to get that connectivity to 741. In review with Chipotle, the northern side, there was discussion of putting a sidewalk there as well. However, there are some pretty significant challenges. One with grading. On that north side, it drops off very quickly into the basin. And anywhere even closer to that, there is utilities. You can see a light pole there. So one of the conversations was for Chipotle to introduce a decorative stamped asphalt crosswalk to connect their site down to Jiffy Lube sidewalk that goes out to 741. So they are making a connection from their site to 741. It's not quite as direct without the sidewalk on the north side, but again, there were some pretty serious challenges there. Lighting plan. The plan was revised to show the Article 7's recommended 3,000 Kelvin lighting standard, which is a softer, warmer light. Otherwise, there were no concerns with the lighting plan. Quickly, just wanted to show the board, the applicant developer worked with staff along the way to create a series of different building elevations that staff feels have come a very long way from the initial plan, certainly to meet the expectations our code and plan developments certainly have for building architecture. So I'm going to show you the proposed designs that are in front of you tonight for review, as well as the original proposed. So you can see we have multicolored brick with a base treatment. There is a sort of parapet feature going on with the elevated tower versus the original design, which is a little bit more standard, had an ephes wrap around the entire top of the building, and was a single brick color. So again, feel that there was a significant improvement with some building appeal. Same thing here, multicolored brick with a parapet versus what was originally close to about 40% of a solid material ephes. Again, bringing in base treatment, getting rid of the ephes. So at this point, there's no ephes on the building. It's been entirely made of brick material now with multicolored brick courses, introduction of the parapet, base treatment, certainly is much more in line with the architectural standards of our code. Nothing of note in terms of signage. Everything is well within the margins of Article 41 that we would expect. The only additional signage would be a common sign that Meyer will be installing as part of the overall plan development, where they will have tenant panels in replacement of their non-conforming pole signs. So that's not shown here, but that is other signage being proposed. And finally, the 5 recommendations of the Zoning Commission. Staff feels that all of these have been adequately met or shown in the revised plans. If the board has any questions or concerns, I would be happy to discuss at this time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, board.
Is there anyone here to represent the applicant?
My name is Brad Kopp with Compton Eddy. We're the developer, would-be owners and developers of the project. David Tabor with CESO, our civil engineers, with us. We appreciate everything that staff has put into it, which has been a great help, and we're here to answer. I don't really have anything to add. We're here to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you for coming, sir.
Yep, thank you.
Is there anyone wishing to come forward to speak in favor of this plan? Anyone wishing to come forward to speak in opposition of this plan? All right, hearing none, seeing none, I will now make a motion to close public hearing 457-2022. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Mr. Morris?
Aye.
Mr. Culp?
Aye.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 59-2023, a resolution to adopt the final development plan for the Chipotle within the Meyer Plan Development District under zoning case 457-22 for lands zoned SP-PUD, Special Purpose Planned Unit Development District. Therefore, be it resolved, the Miami Township Board of Trustees approves a final development plan and adopts the Zoning Commission recommendation under zoning case 457-22. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Mr. Morris?
Aye.
Mr. Culp?
Aye.
Department head comments. Chief Stegelmeier.
I have none, thank you.
Mr. Schweigert.
A very brief comment, Board. Just want to say on behalf of the Road Department, I really thank you for supporting our capital needs with American Rescue Plan funding. In total, this is $741,000 well spent, and we really look forward to taking care of these pieces of equipment for a long time and showcasing them in our community, whether it's snow removal or any other material haulage. So again, thank you, Board.
Well, I will just share that I appreciate you bringing forward investments in capital that will have a long, useful life. The American Rescue Plan monies are one-time monies designed to have an impact in our community, and clearly the equipment that you're purchasing with replacing stuff that you had on board for 20 to 25 years, we should get a good, long, useful life of those funds. So thank you for that. Mr. Carlson. Mr. McCord.
I have none.
All right, Mr. Snyder.
I'd just like to, again, thank all of our police officers, as many of us are able to take off a holiday. Like all of the holidays, July 4th is one that can be particularly busy for our police officers. So again, we appreciate them working on these days and taking care of all of us while we're off enjoying things with our friends and family. So thank you.
Elected official comments, Mr. Klingerman.
No comments.
Mr. Culp.
None.
I have no comments. We are canceling the agenda proposed work session to discuss natural gas aggregation. That topic has been pulled. I will make a motion to go into executive session at 6:21 for the purposes of conferring with an attorney for a public body concerning disputes involving the public body that are subject to pending or imminent court action in accordance with ORC 121.22 subsection G3, and to consider the employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official, or the investigation of charges or complaints against a public employee, official, licensee, or regulated individual, unless the public employee, official, licensee, or regulated individual requests a public hearing in accordance with ORC 121.22 subsection G1. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Mr. Morris.
Aye.
Mr. Culp.
Aye.
We will be moving into an executive session. We will adjourn directly from executive session and take no further action. Thank you all for coming.